nobody is gonna be the same after this crazy day.
There we go. Connect to that.
Party people, where you at? Start fucking the middle, we about to say what's up. Got this money's on our mind, we got this mind on our money, we got this money's on our mind, we got that. What's that? Said this money's on our mind, we got this mind on our money, we got this money's on our mind, we got that. What's that? Said this money's on our mind, we got this mind on our money, but we on the vacay, cause our boss is acting funny. All this loose change is strange, and my pocket's acting funny, but I know where to go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Nobody's gonna be the same after this crazy day.
This song will go.
Okay.
I think we're there. We're done.
Hey Matt, hey Laura. We're about to start talking in just a minute. Getting everything.
So as you're talking, because you're near the speaker, so you know how you heard it kind of echoing or doing that weird thing. You gotta kind of, you're gonna be in control of your volume. So if you think you're sounding too low, you might have to turn it up a little bit, turn it down. As you're talking, you'll know.
Okay.
You were able to tell when we just
Oh, yeah.
did it. So this is lapels, man. I told you I was gonna get them, so I had to try.
How's your Thanksgiving?
Good, yours? What'd you do?
Yeah, I was home. Yeah, I'm not a big holiday person. I'm just not. Yeah. You with your parents?
Yep, went to the parents.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
Nope.
Okay, that's
Only
right.
child.
Yeah, I remember that.
Providing meditation's not a felony. So many sick people that life more troublesome. Why take the medicine for the worth that's waiting gold? It's a matter of opinion, is what makes us unique. It's when we divide.
Talking with someone else the other day. I met somebody else who grew up in Richmond, and she had a huge family. It's trying to really, it's one of those things. Just some super complicated thing.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Guess who I saw, who I didn't even know I still had on Instagram? Who do you think?
JB.
Yes.
Yes.
She posted some crazy stuff. So I guess she went to LA.
Yeah.
That's what happened, right?
Yeah.
So whoever the people is she's living with, she posted that they were eating her food out of their, I guess they were just eating her food without telling. They were just eating her food. And I guess she made a birthday cake for herself. And they literally ate most of the cake and just took a piece of her cake without asking me.
Drama.
And I said,
Well, no, I mean that's class. That's just classic roommate stuff that you just and you're just getting her,
right.
I don't know. She's creating. What are you gonna do? Bake yourself a whole birthday cake? That's.
I don't know, man.
If that's all the problems she's having, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know with her. You never know with her, man. You never know.
So she's in LA, man. Vallejo to LA.
That's what I said. LA is like fast.
Yeah.
I just know I'm anxious to. I don't know. I'm seeing how far long she's gonna last down there. I just don't see it, but
I think she surprises us. I think I don't know. I mean, I think sometimes she pulls stuff. I think she pulls it together sometimes,
How? I just don't understand how she does it when she doesn't really work. How does she get the money to even go all the way to LA? And how does she get the money to do all this stuff?
Oh, I don't even mean like doing stuff, but just like mentally, I mean, I don't know how she got there, but she was such a mess.
That's what I'm saying.
How
do you even get to get to L? I don't know. It's just weird to me.
Well, I don't know. I hope she makes. I mean, she's burned all of her bridges here. I hope she. I don't know. I hope she does. I hope things get better for her. I hope LA's good. Maybe she'll do better, and maybe she does better in a bigger area.
Right.
But
that was weird, man.
So she must still have you on Instagram. No,
she must. If I still have her, I'm still on her Instagram somehow.
Yeah.
I just saw her one day and I saw that post and I was like, how do I have her on? I thought she blocked me.
Yeah.
Evidently, I don't know if she blocked me or maybe she forgot to block me on Instagram. I don't know.
She always has she has a couple different accounts.
Yeah, so maybe that's what it
probably
is.
Why. She probably blocked you. She blocked you on
Yeah, I noticed people do that a lot. They'll block you, but they have you on another account just to watch. Okay, get ready. Yo, what's up, everybody? This your boy DJ Rowe.
Hey,
We're getting used to it, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a new sound thing, everybody. Okay. It's on all the way.
Might have to turn up the volume a little.
Okay. I can't.
Yeah, you're on.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Turn up your volume. Can you get it?
Yeah.
You turned it down. Down top.
Okay.
Say it again.
Okay. Hey everybody, what's up?
Good.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's time for global history night. I can't hear myself. Okay. Is this like not? Okay. Okay, we've gotten real fancy with these. I don't like this. It should. It's weird. It should pick up.
Maybe because of this kind of shirt. I don't know. Mine's is kind of picking up.
Okay.
A little bit. Let's see how this is working now. I'm just anxious to hear how it sounds from the other end.
Yeah. It doesn't sound.
Hold on. That's why we're adjusting it. Let's see. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. That sounds better.
Yeah, let's see how it sounds though.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna do the show like this, and we're gonna see.
Okay. Thanks.
And
everybody.
we are actually on, everybody.
We are actually on everybody. And not only do we have new mic setups, I have a new. I'm working on a new image, so that's why I have the scarf. I'm like figuring out something to do with my hair. I feel like you have to preface that because if you see a middle-aged woman start wearing a scarf or hat, people tend to think that you're getting chemo.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I've actually been telling people that that's one of the things that happens. So how's everybody doing? My God, we have not been on air for a long time. Isn't that right?
Yes.
So, God, I don't think I've seen you since Halloween.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Has been. Wow. And a lot, but you know what? The world just keeps moving on. So, yeah, we were talking about Jamal Khashoggi, the journalist last time we were here, and so far nothing has been done. Our president said that he believes the Saudi crown prince, his buddy. Other countries are responding differently. The Saudi crown prince visited Tunisia, and people were out on the streets everywhere protesting him, saying they don't want him here, he's a murderer. And interestingly, I mean, Tunisia is the country where the Arab Spring revolutions began. So they're kind of out there ahead of it. And since there's been no revolution or anything in Saudi Arabia, it's still an extremely repressive state. Go Tunisia. That's all I can say. That's what I have to say about that. I watched an interview with the son of another cleric, of a Saudi cleric, who was imprisoned, and the guy is locked up. He was imprisoned, and it was amazing because he was explaining the Saudi government, and his father had been kind of radical in the past, but not like crazy. Osama bin Laden liked his dad, but that's not his fault. So, but his dad was a promoted freedom and got thrown in jail for it. So things are still looking pretty bad in Saudi Arabia. And meanwhile, there is the G20 meeting happening in Argentina. And so a whole lot of questions have been like, oh my God, the Saudi crown prince is known as MBE. It's initials for most something. And so, there's been all the questions about it, and what happens is the Saudi crown prince and Vladimir Putin give each other high fives. Okay.
Nice.
Well, I mean, what that means is we don't give a shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna do
Right.
anything, and that is why Russia has taken some Ukrainians. Has taken some Ukrainian soldiers prisoners. They've crossed the line into Ukraine because Putin's like, what the fuck, you know? I mean, Trump's buddy, the crown prince, can like butcher journalists, and so he can go ahead and invade. He can go ahead and continue invading. Continue locking up people from Ukraine. So that is all what I have on Saudi Arabia. There's a country, New Caledonia is a French island in the Pacific, and we didn't talk about this last time, but the territory has divisions between the indigenous people and the Europeans. So an agreement was drawn up in 1988, which proposed an end to direct rule from Paris and a vote on independence. In 1988, they said they were going to wait 10 years and then vote on independence in 1998. And then it got just pushed back another 10 years. I don't know why they don't just go like 5 years. And when all that happened, they chose to stay French.
Oui, oui.
yeah. I mean, it's a financial thing.
Yeah, it's
of course
something else.
Yeah. So, okay, the Nigerian government has agreed to a 66% minimum wage increase. Okay,
Wow.
where does that happen, guys? Where do you ever see the minimum wage get increased? So, go Nigeria. Okay, that's very good. Now, this could be, and it was a workers' strike. The workers went on strike, and it was the trade unions that met with President Buhari to do this. Interestingly, Nigeria is having an election, and Mr. Buhari is running to be reelected. So that could have something. That could have something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah. So, but it's the sort of thing. Like, yeah, why can't we have that? Like, come on, raise the minimum wage. How come our presidents don't do that when they're running for re-election?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand that either.
I do not understand that. So, okay. Wow. Okay, you know what I did last time that was working pretty well? Okay, here we go, guys. This is what we figured out. Okay? That works better. Doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Gives a little like podcast look.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does. So that's what's going on in Nigeria, and because we talked about this before, they passed a law called "Not Too Young to Run," which lowered the minimum age to run for the highest office from 35 to 30. So get with it, people. Run for fucking office. So, and raise the minimum wage.
There you go. That definitely needs to happen.
Mm-hmm. It surely does. So, wow, we haven't had a show since the midterm elections. Yeah. So that was, so the midterm elections, I think we're good, because we have a whole crop of new Congress members who are women of color. So that means that they've had to work twice as hard as any of those white male Republican Congress members. So they're just going to be way ahead. And, one person can make a big difference. I mean, look at all the drama and whatever. So about Nancy Pelosi. So I think it's good. I think we got people and members in Congress in. We have a Democrat running it from Arizona. Democrats lost seats in swing states that we knew they were going to lose. But we can be hopeful, but man, what the left has got to learn the left has to learn loyalty.
Right.
Okay? Trump's folks love him. They and they stand behind, and even in when all these people now, they're like, oh, blah, 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 blah. People were the Democrats were down on Obama plenty of times when he was in office, which they should have. I think people should be critical of the president, but when it came down to it, I don't know. That's just really something that the Democrats should learn, and hopefully, we'll work on it. They still can't get together for 2020. I had interesting news from my brother, because I'm a big fan of Kamala Harris. I want her to run, but he told me that Jay Inslee, the governor of Washington State, where I'm from and where my family is thinking of running for president. Uh-oh. And so then I was like, because if he ran for, because I was like, wow, well that would be pretty cool. And my family's real involved in Washington in politics there, so I was like, wow, okay. Well, if Inslee were to be president, I'd have Mondo access. That would be pretty fun. But it makes from a political sense, it doesn't make any sense because they should run a Democrat run a Dem from the swing state or the South. You know, I mean, a candidate running from the Pacific Northwest, you know, it's not like, you know, he's not going to like pick up anybody new. So I don't know. That would be pretty fucking fun, man. Governor Inslee has kind of the same mentor as I do, like many years apart. Our very, very dear friend named Brewster Denny, and the governor spoke about Brewster at his memorial and how he talked about how exuberant and positive Brewster was, which was one of the things I loved so much about him. But, you know, so fun as it would be for me to have, you know, somebody in office that my family knows, I really want Kamala, okay, or somebody, swing state, somebody, and, you know, not Cory Booker. He's a blowhard.
You don't like Cory Booker?
No, come on, he's too emotional. Come on, man, what would people think of a woman that was that emotional?
Yeah, he's passionate. I like Cory Booker. That's the one from
New Jersey.
And I remember because he had a documentary on HBO.
Yeah.
I remember. I liked him though, man. He lived in an apartment in like the worst part of Jersey.
Yeah. I liked him then.
Stuff,
yeah, he was the mayor of Jersey City. Oh, do you like this, Max? Do you like this? Hey, Max. Yes, he's too emotional. That is my friend. All right, Max Wolf Valerio. Hey, Max, my libertarian buddy.
What up, Max?
What up, Max? Wait, Max, do you like it better this way or the other way? Now I'm mixed up when I'm on the screen. Yeah, because we got it. Yeah, and I think he's kind of. I didn't like the way he was questioning the Homeland Security nominee, because he's going like, you don't seem to understand, blah blah. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude, okay? I cannot fucking stand that. No, do not tell me I don't understand. Don't tell a woman she doesn't understand just because you fucking disagree, okay? I mean, you know, that's just really, really disrespectful, and, you know, I don't like her at all, but I did not like that, okay? Don't tell you know, say you disagree. I've gotten that from people before. Somebody's like, you don't understand how this works, and I'm like, I understand, we disagree, okay? But yeah, he's not married. I think it's, you know, an unmarried person, I don't think an unmarried person has ever run for president.
Yeah, I never thought about that. Everybody's always been married.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so.
That would be different. Yeah, that's something I never even thought about. That would be different.
Well, those are the sort of decisions that.
Yeah, that's different, huh? That's a good one, though. I never thought about that.
Yeah. Well, but that's the sort of thing that's the sort of thing that can make and break it. Because I don't think, not a chance in hell, man. You gotta like have some spouse going like that to like humanize someone. And okay, this was sort of funny because then people talk about Booker Harris or Harris Booker, and that's not going to happen either, because Kamala Harris, they're not going to run a single man. And Kamala Harris is married, but, you know, she doesn't like, women politicians they don't appear with their husbands. When they're women, I mean, they hardly ever. They go, you know how, you know, a male politician will have his wife standing there like that, but women can't do that because people will think people will think the man is running for office. So if you put Booker and Harris up there, people are gonna just think that, you know, people. So right. Yeah, not gonna happen. I say Kamala should run for president with her Veep, some Democratic white guy from a swing state. Illinois, Ohio or something. Must be somebody boring. Somebody who can deliver some votes. I'm also real pissed off when to hear people yapping about Beto O'Rourke. Remember, Beto?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Beto for president. Beto for president. He can't win in his fucking state. Okay, that's bullshit. Okay, that's ridiculous. Just because just because all a guy has to do is be handsome and charming and like charismatic and get some, make Texas slightly competitive. Although we knew it was although any of us that like knew anything knew that Cruz was gonna win. But I'm like, no, how can you be talking about him? Yeah, like running for. I think it would be awesome to have to have some, no shit, we've had plenty of presidents from the South. What am I talking about? And one thing, something that's go back to wherever Beto. I mean, you gotta be more. I mean, he was from Congress, from like a liberal area. You gotta get out and go everywhere. And you're just like, shut up, people. You want to just bring this dude out and put on. Anyway, so that is okay. That's 20. That's 28. Oh, congratulations, Hakeem Brown, who. At the moment, yeah, and I know Hakeem Brown was elected to the city council here in Vallejo. Yay, Hakeem. And he is now off on his honeymoon in Jamaica. So I'm sending him my congratulations, but he doesn't. Good. Yeah. He got married while he was running for office, and so, so their deal was the honeymoon was going to be after the election. So I'm really so glad he won.
Nice.
That just would have. Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be rough. He's got a road ahead of him, but, he's got some, and, he's really got some things to learn, because running for office and being in office are entirely separate things. But, I'm really happy for him. I just think he's, so dedicated and so smart, and just, yeah, looking forward to it.
You want to get to some music?
Not necessarily. No.
You good? You want to
keep
going?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah. We haven't gotten to Yemen. So, okay, we were starting to talk about Yemen at the very beginning of the show, and there's there's a couple interesting things. Beside the fact that Yemen is currently is the worst humanitarian situation in the world. The rebels are the Houthis, and they are backed by Iran.
Did you say
Houthis?
It's not the same thing as Hutu, is it?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Whoa, that's coming back again.
Oh no. The Houthis are. They're backed by Iran and Hezbollah, and the other part, I forget the name, and the ruling party is backed by Saudi Arabia and therefore the United States. And Yemen, I consider Yemen to be Obama's war. He got us in there, and I really, really blame him for that. And I really would like all the saps that are like, Obama, they should think about that. We do not fucking belong there, and there's famine in Yemen, and it's just awful. And so I was listening to a interview with the foreign minister of the Houthis, who are the rebels. So he's not officially his government is not recognized. He's not recognized as the foreign minister, but, Al Jazeera is just great at getting all these people on, all these people there, and so a lot of fighting, and so they were trying. So I mean, most of the aggression has come from the ruling party, but the Houthi rebels have also used child soldiers, and they've attacked civilians in Saudi Arabia. They've attacked civilian areas. So both sides are guilty of war crimes, and it's basically so I don't know. There's oh, okay, right. Amnesty International warned against Houthi rebels taking up positions on a hospital rooftop in Hodeidah. Hodeidah is the port, and the rebels have been holding it and not letting any food in. And so they have famine, and it's just really, really horrifying. And just Obama should never have gotten us in there. So yeah, that was that. I don't know. It's like when you see interviews with people, with these refugees, you realize, like, wow, they're like that. I just wonder, like, wow, when they go into tent cities and stuff, I'm like, wow, what do they do all day? And the answer is like, well, they do exactly what they're doing in their interview. Like, they just hang out in their tents or whatever. There's nothing else they can do. And so that's Yemen today. And so I was watching and reading something pretty. I read about something kind of interesting and went back and was researching it. In the late 1940s, a bunch of Yemeni Jews were brought to the state of Israel shortly after the state of Israel's founding. Those are the people that my grandmother would have called Yemenites, and it was called Operation Magic Carpet. Keep going. Okay, so I was asked one of the things that happened, or that is now being spoken about with Operation Magic Carpet, is that there's missing children. There's like a couple hundred missing children, and the Yemenis remember, like, people gave birth and then were told their babies had died, but then they never got to see the baby.
Right.
And my dad remembers the magic carpet. Oh, it's what's that word? Magic carpet or whatever. My dad remembers that, but what is said to have happened was that these children were given to Holocaust survivors who were in the state of Israel, because Holocaust survivors had, people had a lot of people couldn't have kids because of the trauma they'd been through. And there's always been, unfortunately, racism. The Jews from like North Africa and Middle East are called Mizrahi, and there's always kind of been some racism toward them. And so there was an attitude about the Mizrahi, perhaps, that, well, they have so many kids, they won't miss one. But anyway, people are now looking for their families. Like, there was a woman who had twins, and she was told that one of them died, but she hadn't. And those twin adults found each other later. So that's just one of the things that's interesting, because now people are really able to take a lot of this in their own hands. And I was reading an interview with somebody, who found out that is probably what happened to him. And he said his parents could never speak about it. You know, it's like, what the fuck are you gonna do? You know, your parents have been like through the Holocaust. You know, you're gonna say like, oh my God, you stole me? I mean, Jesus, that is a hell of a heritage. But it was the sort of thing, it was always sort of talked about, like, you know, it was, you know, how some stuff is an urban legend, but then if so many people are saying this, like, well, is it an urban legend or not?
Right.
And, you know, it's interesting because, I mean, there's just real implications for what people can do now. And so speaking of people finding their history, I've also been following an issue with the archives of the State of Israel. I'm an archivist, and I love archives. And the State of Israel has managed to not release, to keep archives of the Palestinian states under lock and key. People can't get to them, which is just outrageous. And the chief archivist of the State of Israel retired, and then he talked about it. It's like, fuck you, man. You should have like, and you know, he said they will probably never be open. I'm like, what the hell, dude? You should have just retired and kept your mouth shut. Sort of like, if you weren't going to try and do something about this while you were on the job, why did you know? What are you doing now?
Right.
So you know, people are trying to get those archives, but I mean, again, since all this history is so recent, people can really find out a lot themselves with those DNA apps. You know, which I don't. I mean, you know, that is interesting. I mean, I find like, you know, I think most the DNA test to me is supremely uninteresting. I mean, I don't care about like my genetics from hundreds of years ago, but you know, when you see people now like finding out they have, you know, sisters and brothers, and then, you know, God, there's even people that were still alive that had their kid that are still waiting for their missing kids that were in the airlift from Yemen. So that is a really big deal, and it's just the question of who has ownership of history, and that, you know, if you take away people's history and don't let them access who they are, I mean, it's a crime. I think it's a crime against intellectual inquiry. It's a crime against people's right to know about themselves.
Right.
So that is the sort of thing as an archivist that I would just be very fired up about. You know, if I had, you know, I mean, I wouldn't, if I was working in some place like that, you know, I mean, I wouldn't do something stupid like, you know, take them out or something, but I would just do everything in my power for people to be able to get this information. I mean, it's just really wrong. So, okay, so you ready for a break?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, we'll be back in